Well, hey YouTube, it's Elvis Ammo here. Hey, today we're going to be shooting our 7.62 by 39 out of the AK, shooting a bullet from my Arsenal mold, my new mold that I got from Arsenal. That's the mold right there, and it is a beautiful bullet. I'm having some really good fun with it, some good progress with it. It's shooting pretty darn good, as you'll be able to see here in a minute. This is the mold from Arsenal. That's my mold. It's these bullets are dropping at 100 on average, 144.2 grains from the alloy that I'm using, and I just thought that I would kick off this. Well, I kicked off the AK series in a previous video where I did a chamber casting, and we talked about the rifle itself, and from the chamber casting, we know that my lands and grooves in the rifle ranges from, the grooves are at 310 and the lands are at .305. Okay, so that's the range that I have, and the bullet, this is called a 312. Now, when you measure these bullets from the Arsenal mold, make sure I'm zeroed out, they are 314, okay, and those measurements are the rear driving band and the front driving band is at 314, and then just ahead of the front driving band right here, just for a short ways right here, is measuring 309, and then it tapers off. Alright, now this bullet is a brand new bullet design, and they are designed to shoot out of the 7.62 by 39 and the 300 blackout. Now, I have not shot it out of the 300 blackout, but from the progress that I'm making with this bullet here today, I am very excited to shoot it from the 300 blackout as well, and can't wait to load some up and shoot them. So anyway, I just thought I'd kick this series off in the loading portion and shooting portion with some none less than cast lead powder coated bullets, right? This is the bullet loaded up, and the overall length of this bullet loaded in the case is 2.150, and I'm gonna be shooting it from a PSA K47 from Palmetto State Armory, 16-inch barrel. I've got, this thing looks like a rocket launcher back here. It's got a 4-12 Nikon Buckmaster on it, and I'm using a cheapo $20 CV Life bipod, and there's really nothing else to talk about. If you want to see more about the rifle, I think I mentioned a little bit more about it when I done my chamber casting video, so you can watch that video. We have a lot to cover, and I don't want to get too far in the weeds in this particular video, because we will be doing some other load ups with this rifle, with other bullets as well, including some jacketed rounds, you know, because one of my goals is I want to see how accurate of a bullet we can shoot out of the AK, right? I know the AK's been around for a long time. The 7.62x39 has been around for a very long time. And you would think that there would just be a ton of information on loading for it, but there's not. So it's kind of a wild card. You know, there's very little good information out there. There's plenty of information, but very little good information, I guess, on loading for the AK-47 or the AKM. The bullets. So let's just get into it, get through some of this information, get out there and shoot, come back and talk about what we did. The bullets I had sized to 311, all right, with my Lee 311 sizer. Let me grab, that's not a sized bullet. And they're actually coming out at 310, all right, 310, 310.5. It seems like it might pop up every once in a while. That's straight up 310, okay. So they're not really coming out 311 with the sizer I've got, but that's fine because they're doing very well, and we'll see that here in a minute. And bullets are size 311. We're going to be shooting from 50 yards. The BHN on the bullet, by the way, is 15. All right, that's what I measured the BHN. So you know that much. The loads that we're going to be loading or that we're going to be shooting is with using CFE Blk. And I had high hopes for this powder. And IMR 4198. All right. There's the two powders that we're using, and the loads are going to be loaded. The CFE Blk. I've actually already shot these loads, and I'm gonna roll in the footage of the shooting with the CFE Blk. The CFE Blk I shot with from 22.8 grains, which is just barely above the minimum on the Hodgson's website for 150 grain bullet. We're shooting 144.2 grain bullet. I loaded them all the way up to 24.3 grains, which is just below the max. And then with the 4198, we're shooting. I got results in pretty quick on the IMR 4198. So we're going to be shooting 22, 22.3, 22.6 grains of IMR 4198, and then also I'm going to roll in some footage comparing our groups with factory ammo, shooting hollow points from Wolf and also the full metal jacket. So I'm gonna roll in some footage with that, comparing those groups as well. So those are our powder charges and our loads that we're shooting. And the next thing that I'll tell you is the die set that I'm using is the RCBS short base die set. All right, now it comes with the 308 expanding ball and the 310 expanding ball. All right, so I may in another video, and you guys could comment on this what you'd like to see, but I may also try some 308. Okay, I know our diameter is 310. I've actually done that in the past, and if I can remember correctly, it wasn't too bad of results, believe it or not. So anyway, let's go out there. We got a lot to cover, and I don't want to make this video go too long because we've got other videos that we're going to be doing in this series loading with the AK. So let's get out there and shoot, and then we'll talk about our groups. Not bad. All right, so now you know why I'm so excited about this mold. I'm just I can't help but to crack a smile. I love having a great mold like this, and I can't wait to shoot this with the 300 blackout as well. Alright, so now let's go ahead and talk about standard deviations and feet per second. With the CFE Black, to be honest, it was a little bit more erratic. With the CFE Black, it was for me. Not getting any real good results Well, you know, I hate to say that, it's really not bad results at all. I mean, we're shooting cast lead, and you know, I'll show you the groups in a minute. We'll measure them and all of that. But let's talk about the IMR 4198 with the 22.6 grains. Let's talk about that load for just a second. Standard deviations, it wasn't the very best. Standard deviation was 19. But you've seen the group. And the feet per second was 1,989. For all intents and purposes, we can call it 2,000 feet per second, which honestly, that was my goal, was to kind of get that 2,000 feet per second with this 145 grain bullet, or 144.2 grain bullet. And on the CFE Black, one of the reasons I wanted to shoot the CFE Black was I felt like there was a lot more promise for higher velocities. All right, now I believe that I can probably you know, get higher velocities, but when I shot the max with the CFE Black, and even before I got to the max at 24 grains, I was seeing issues. Not pressure issues. That's the this is the CFE Black. That's the primer. Nothing much to talk about. But where the issues came was the damage that was happening with the brass. Alright, I have very limited supply of this brass, and I'm just working with what I have. And I have, you know, I haven't counted them, but I have about 100 pieces of brass that I've accumulated over time, and that's it. So that's all I've got to work with, and that's just going to have to do. But what's happening is, whenever I shoot the CFE Black, and as I see better groups coming, I'm getting bad damage. Do you see the ejector mark right there? And I don't know if you can see, but you can see where it's bending my rim up a little bit. So there would not be too many shootings that I could do, too many loadings that I could do before I'll have to replace this brass. It's getting tore up pretty good. And did you like my footage? I wanted to roll in some footage of my shooting position. And you seen my my brass catcher in the background? That's my brass catching net. Man, these AKs, man, they sling that brass straight up and 40 feet away, and you just never know. You're just never going to find your brass shooting these things, and I can't afford to lose any. So that's my catcher's mitt. So I'm getting damage with the CFE Black, and then with the 4198 maximum charge, you can see the primer. Nothing to talk about here. That's the primer. There's nothing to talk about, and I'm not getting the damage that I would get. Very little scrapes. I'm not getting bent rims from the extraction process. And but I'm still getting a little ding in the side where it's hitting the rifle on the way out. Nothing you can do much about that. You know, get too many of them, too deep, discard them. You know, move on. But and I could probably do better. I always when I mount my scopes, they're just never perfectly level. I mean, most people would look at this and say, you know, it's level, but honestly, you know, that's issue at longer ranges, obviously. But eventually, one of these days, I'll get me a kit that I can, you know, do a better job, you know, than, you know, trying to level the rifle, level the scope. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. But I don't think that was an issue here today at 50 yards. So that's the brass. That's our feet per second, our standard deviation. Now let's look at the targets. I already knew this was going to happen because I've shot, you know, probably 70 rounds already, you know, in the testing with this bullet, you know, between the CFE Blk and the 4198. But there's my group right there. I thought it would deserve just a whole target, thanks to BuckeyeTargets.com. I appreciate them for the target. So I'm just, there's a .680. That's our measurement right there. All right, just over a ½ inch, under 3/4 inch, and then some footage that you didn't see, I'm gonna show you, and that is right after I did that, I shot a group with Factory Wolf. This was the full metal jacket, not the hollow point. I shot a 5-shot group, and it was 1.314. So my cast lead 5-shot group was about half of that. All right, now that and that's pretty consistent of what I get at a Factory Wolf out of the AK. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. You know, at 100 yards, I can get anywhere from 1 inch to 3-inch groups. It's kind of erratic. And then this was some of the shots that I made in testing. I was shooting 3-shot groups in my testing initially because I wanted to, because I didn't have much brass for one thing. So 22 grains, I shot 22.3 grains, 22.6 grains, the 22 grains of 4198 was this group right here at 1.458, and then 22.3 grains, I had a 1.121 group right there. And when I shot the 22.6 grains, this was initially, I don't know if you guys can even see that, this was initially the 22.6 grains, the target that I shot that indicated where to go, and that was my group at .794 with 3 shots there. And so I just kind of wanted to show you a target where I was testing. So that was that, and that's what brought me to the 22.6 grains that we shot. And then this was the target that we shot, that I rolled some footage in on. The 24 grains would be the CFE Blk charge that I would go with if I was to use it, because if I go to 24.3 grains, I'm going to get more damage on my brass. So we shot a 1.566 with the 24 grains, a 1.430 with 24.3 grains. So it looks like my groups were improving with the CFE Blk, but my brass was not improving. And then I was like, well, let me shoot a hollow point factory steel, and I was like, these groups are gonna be as good as my factory. And darn if it didn't shoot a fine group right there when I did. It don't always shoot that fine of a group. And which brings me to say that one of the things that I would like to do is take the wolf and try to accurize them. So I mean, you guys can let me know in the comment section, am I going too far, you know, with this, or, you know, am I on the right path? Because the way I see it is, we're buying this cheap ammo to shoot our 7.62 by 39 into steel. Can we pull a bullet and dump the powder and then make consistent charges? Because I can tell you for 100% certainty that if you pull these bullets, I've done this, pull the bullets and dump the charges, you'll be 2 or 3 grains apart from each other. So no wonder we're getting erratic patterns, you know, and groups sizes with these bullets. So we can pull a bullet, dump the charges, get an average weight, and and load them back up, and put the bullet back in there in the same case and everything. Just reload it, and see if we can get an accurate group with our factory ammo. That's one way to turn our AK into a precision rifle. Speaking of precision rifles, I am going to attempt to shoot a Hornady VMAX, and I'm just kind of throwing some stuff out there. That's one of the things I've got planned. I'm going to shoot this bullet, and we're just going to see if we can, how accurate can we shoot 7.62 by 39 out of the AK. We know that they're predominantly not so accurate, right? Whatever, right? So we're going to find some things out like that, do some cool stuff like that. I got some twists and turns coming with this caliber. I got it set up like a precision rifle here. You guys are laughing at it, aren't you? You're like, whoa, look at that AK, man. It's got a telescope on the top. You can see the stars, and got a bipod on there, man, like you're shooting for the miles shot. And so yeah, go ahead and laugh. I did all this for you guys, trust me. I put a Buckmaster on top of here, 4 to 12. I put a bipod on here so that I can shoot more accurately for you. So that's why it's set up that way. Trust me, the red dot typically is just beautiful on this rifle that you've seen it set up in my previous video when I did a chamber casting. So anyway, accurizing some of the Wolf ammo is on the menu. Trying to shoot a precision shot, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. And Lord have mercy, what a fine mold Arsenal Molds has put out for me today. God bless. I mean, that is, man, I am super stoked. Can't wait to shoot the 300 Blackout with that mold, with this bullet. If I didn't show you a raw bullet, that's what the raw bullet looks like. Right there. It is awesome. That's the bullet. That's the tip. What a beautiful bullet. So I am super stoked. I may actually get to where I can't wait and just kind of start, just do a quick video on shooting the 300 Blackout with this bullet. I probably will. I'm not sure if I'll get another loading in the AK before I do that, but I'm real anxious just to shoot the 300 Blackout with this bullet. YouTube, I will see you in the next video.